Did you know that your body actually tells you by where it deposits its fat exactly what hormones are at play? I thought that was very interesting, and most people probably don't know this, but there are different hormones at play that come into effect when different parts of the body experience fat gain. So for example, for me, when I started perimenopause and I got the belly fat, that, my friends, is insulin at play. Now, insulin is the fat storage hormone, and when menopause comes around, you have to actually think about what food you're putting in your mouth, because like me, didn't change my eating, didn't change my training, nothing really had changed at all, and all of a sudden I looked like I was 4 months pregnant. I felt bloated, I just felt disgusting, to be quite honest, and that was because insulin is super important when the menopause hormones start taking effect. So insulin basically being spiked all day then just starts storing the fat right on the belly. So for me, I really had to look at my diet. Sugar was a massive trigger for me. As you know, I talk a lot about triggers in menopause. Sugar, caffeine, high carbohydrates, and alcohol are probably the 4 major ones from a nutritional point of view. However, I will mention stress, because personally, really high stressful environments definitely trigger my menopause symptoms. So having really high cortisol was not something that served me well. Now, I understand that menopause is a very personal experience, and everyone is going to have different experiences with those things I mentioned: sugar, alcohol, caffeine, high carbohydrates, and stress. So that is something that we will definitely experience in a different way. Personally, I had to really look at my sugar content. Not that I was really eating a lot of sugar, however, carbohydrates will definitely spike insulin. Insulin is needed to get the energy into the cell, and so I had to look at the food I was eating, and that's when I made the choice to go low carbohydrate. So I still eat carbohydrates, I eat carbs, however I time them around my activity. So you'll hear me often talk about the fact that at night for dinner, I really just have protein and I get my carbohydrates from vegetables, usually not in the form of potatoes or sweet potato. If I do have some of those, it's a very small amount. So, but generally I just have protein and vegetables. That's my dog. Sorry about that. Real life here. Keeping us safe. So, so insulin is the one that really affects your belly fat, and that is probably the most common symptom, I suppose, dealing with people. I'm a nutritionist, so I help people with fat loss. It's my secret weapon. So insulin is probably the most common factor, I suppose, that we see, and that is really because people aren't aware that they need to really look at their diet. The other thing I see a lot with the clients that I work with is just not enough protein. So that kind of goes hand in hand. Usually there's too many carbohydrates and not enough protein, and these are things that we really dive into and get sorted out. So protein is super important. It also keeps you satiated, and it is has the highest thermic effect of all the food groups, which means it actually takes us longer to digest it, and it causes more energy to digest it. So we are actually using energy to digest it, but it keeps us fuller for longer. And of course it helps with muscle preservation, muscle protein synthesis, all of these things that are super important. So the next area around your bum and thighs, that is progesterone. So that's where you'll deposit fat in that respect. And then the last area is around your bust. And if you are getting massive kind of fat deposits around your bust area, then you need to look at getting your thyroid checked. So I just wanted to pop in here tonight and make sure that you knew those things, because our bodies are pretty smart and they do tell us by the different symptoms, or I should say where the fat gets deposited, what hormones are at play. So hopefully that's helpful. If you would like to let us know in the comments what areas are troubling you, feel free to share. Like I said, it was the belly fat for me. I did get rid of it, and you can too. So if you need help with that, then I'll drop the link to my coaching below, and feel free to jump on a call and chat through your goals and what you would like to achieve. And you know, I do know personally that you can thrive in menopause, and getting your nutrition sorted out really is the basis of how you'll make that happen. So I'd love to help you if you need. Now, I will just ask you another favor. Please subscribe, and I would really appreciate you tagging someone or sharing this with someone who also could use this information. Really appreciate that in advance, and I will see you next time.